What's up, man? Actually, I'm not gonna wear a hat. Not gonna wear a hat during this stream. Let me just chill out. Curious to see who pull up to the late night stream. Green is actually a really nice light to have in the nighttime. I like green and purple. Two really good lights to have in the nighttime. I wonder who's up in the midst of the nights. Who down for the late night combo? I mean, I wouldn't call this a late night. I would say early morning conversations. Seriously. Early morning talks and shit. But, um, yeah, man. Content has been going. I think the last video I did is doing pretty decent. I have to start making long form content, but like I don't know if like YouTube wants me to just like blabber and talk about stuff. Like I'm not really the person to like sit on. I mean, I like doing lives where I talk about shit, but like just constantly giving takes on stuff every day, that can be like I to me that's just that gets tricky, you know? When you're making content where you're just constantly giving takes on stuff, that shit gets tricky, man. Connie, what's going on? Yeah, but like when you make content where you're constantly giving takes on stuff, that shit gets tricky because now your page is nothing but your opinions. You know what I mean? And that opens up so many avenues for people to attack you or just kind of like study. I don't know. I don't know. For me, I just like I said, I'm down to do lives, and I might have to ask myself like, what's the difference between me doing lives, talking about shit, and everything else? What up with it, Wheeler? What's up with it, man? What's up, my guy? Listen, I don't know if my barber didn't clean his clippers, but my damn hairline been itchy lately, man. I don't like that. I'm gonna wash my hair with some Selsun Blue. See if that help out for real, for real. Definitely gotta get some Selsun Blue. But yeah, nah, like I think I'm gonna get back to just doing lives like this, trying to knock out this last hour on the job. Hey, listen, man, make that money. Don't let it make you. But hey, but like I was saying, I think I'm gonna get back to doing lives, but just doing them like this, where we just vibe out, real spill. I mean, it depends on what kind of support we can pull from this. You know what I mean? Cause like they suppressing the hell out of the other content. Itchy hairline, yeah, your barber ain't cleaning them clippers that the right way. Yeah. How long have you streamed on this live tonight? It's been 4 minutes. Bro got that Dr. Was it? What? I don't know who that is. I miss you on live. Hope you come back soon. Oh yeah, like it's just that I wasn't garnishing. Um, I was doing those lives for a long time, and they were very therapeutic in a sense. I'm not gonna cap. It's just when I got to a certain point, like like I said, we didn't have enough people watching it, and I think I didn't make clips. I don't know. I need somebody who can clip farm for me, you know, because I think that's what we went wrong at. We didn't have any clips of the good moments we had. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I'm just not gonna think too much about it. You ain't never seen Princess and the Frog, G? Nah, dog. I know what the movie is and what it's about, but never seen it. I was a Cartoon Network kid, man. You're a clipper? No way. I just removed all of my mods. Not that I fired everybody. Um, I'm just about to reset on the direction of my lives. Um, I'm gonna bring everybody together first before we do this because I have a game plan. Because I definitely need Clippers. Old Cartoon Network. I remember that channel. Listen, man, Cartoon Network. Then you had Adult Swim, Toonami. Man, I remember Samurai Jack. Man, come on, man. Some of y'all might be too young for that. But my guy in the chat said he a Clipper. I don't know you though. Thank you for streaming on behalf of the yo. They keep coming in here every time I go live to say that. What's a Clipper? Somebody who can take clips from my lives. That way we can capture the funny moments and post them into shorts because motherfuckers ain't gonna really like come check out a whole like say we do this for an hour. Not gonna come watch this for a whole hour if they didn't watch it live, if they don't know there's stuff in there that they want to see. Does that make sense? Nickelodeon, Nick at Night. I wasn't on Nickelodeon, man. Space Ghost Coast to Coast for the real ones. You hear me? My finger's still all right. Let's go ahead and let you just fade away, my friend. Fade away. Do you know how to bake cookies? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Check you out. Your channel. Let me pull up your channel. I'm gonna pull up your channel right now. Let's see. I'll pull you up right now. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. I can pull you up right now. Boom, there you go. Boom, let's go to your channel. Right there. Boy, you got 2 clips on here. What the hell? You got 2 clips on here. And what the hell is that? Oh, hell nah. Archangel, second Archangel. Look, I rebuke all of that. I don't know what the hell you got going on. Yeah, I don't. Nah, listen, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support, though. No, 100%. Appreciate the support. I remember Space Ghost. Aqua Teen Hunger Force was Pete. Oh, for sure. Big Omen, what's up? That boy say lack. What do you mean? If you could go back in time for one day, what year would you pick? If I could go back in time for one day, what year would I pick? 2022. I would pick 2022. If I could go back to any year. Now, wait, you just became an op. Don't get caught lacking. That boy said I just became an op. All right, let's go ahead and send this over to the authorities. I'm not again. Look, man, I'm not in the streets. I don't know if you mistaken me for somebody else, brother. Look, I grew up in them. I grew up in them streets. But let me tell you something, man. We made it out the streets for a reason. I'm gonna go ahead and let the good old boys in blue handle you. What happened in what? Let's see. What happened in 2022? Oh, the reason I say 2022 is because that's when my daughter had passed. So if I could go back in time, I would go back to 2022. And the last time I spent with my daughter, I would have genuinely done, I would have maximized that 24 hours, that last 24 hours I had. That's what I would have done if I had a chance to go back in time. Is everything a scam? Not everything. Almost. You look like that one guy. What one guy? Rest in peace, Theodora. Thank you. Damn, the ops live now? What do you mean? Bro, my room black, yours green. Oh, I'm sorry for that. I understand. Oh, listen, man. Listen. The one thing I wish people would like we could all talk about is child loss, because I think we need to understand as people is that child loss is a part of life. You know, um, we think that our kids can never pass away and that we will grow old and our kids will watch us grow old and die, but that's not necessarily the case when it comes to life. You know what I mean? That's not how it goes. Daughter, what a crushing story. I mean, I don't think it has to be a crushing story. You know what I'm saying? If you could bring back four people, who would you bring back that passed away, family or famous people, only four? It would be my daughter, my uncle, my great grandmother, and my grandmother. Those were the four people. Um, Actually, I would bring back my uncle. He was 3 years older than me. My daughter, my great grandmother, and my junior marine that I had in San Diego. Those would be the four people I would bring back. But speaking on hypotheticals and stuff, does nothing for the mental. Can you be quiet for a second? You talk too much. You can scroll, you know that, right? See, let's talk about tooth loss in a dentist egghead. That don't even sound like a complete sentence. So true. My son was just in a bad accident. He was he was T-boned on his motorcycle. He was very lucky. He's really operating now. Yeah. See, one thing that the passing of my daughter taught me is, and can y'all give the live stream a thumbs up? Like, can y'all like the stream? Cause having this many people here with like 3 likes, it doesn't recommend this live to anyone. Um, the passing of my daughter taught me life is very finite, and I take for granted the time that I have on earth. I'm not really maximizing it the way I think because I believe that I have more time to do things than I really do. And I think we all suffer from that. Um, it just puts us in a space where it's like, as a parent, especially as a father, your number one goal is to protect your family, is protect your kid, you know. As a father, not all fathers are like this, but I would want to believe that as a father, as for me, I'll give my life for my kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, danger was to come my kid's way, I'm ready to lay my life. It's not even a thought in my mind. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even thinking that I have to even do that. Because I'm like, man, I'm gonna just destroy and take out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I should have been there. No, that's not a thing. And you can't rage bait me on some shit like that. My mental doesn't work that way, brother. Sorry. So, see, your kid, da da da. Hold on, give me 1 second. One second. This is the moment they were waiting on right here. Give me 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I gotta set up this, yeah, I gotta set up something real quick. Give me 1 second. Mm, where is he at? Hey, Willie, you still in here? Yeah, it is disgusting. Willie, you still in here? Mm-mm. I think Willie about to get off of work. But anyways, like I was saying, the one thing the past number. Oh, there he goes. The one thing there we go. There we go. Yeah, the one thing the passing of my daughter taught me is how much time we take for granted. And what going through child loss taught me, right? Like just the journey, and I'm still going through it today, right? What that journey has taught me is just how many people, like when people turn like cold, evil, and just like they have no care in the world, dog. Like, I don't agree with people who are like that. Even like, but I understand how they got that way. Cause hear me out, right? When you go through something very traumatic, at least for me, right? I've been through many different traumatic things in my life, right? It wasn't until I experienced the loss of my daughter that it really set in, right? People around me, the way they treated me when my daughter passed, that almost turned me cold. Listen, bruh, that shit almost turned me cold. Man, I had to find God throughout all of that. Cause man, listen, bruh, if I didn't if I didn't find God through all of that, man, I probably would have turned cold. I probably would have turned cold, bro. Cause when you think about the relationships you've had with people, man, and the trust you put in people, listen, bro, I'm talking about down to my parents, bro. Listen, bro, that shit hurt, bro. I'm telling you, listen, I'll be a man and tell y'all that shit on the internet, bro. That shit hurt, bro. That shit hurt. And I had to forgive them people, boy. Listen, I had to forgive them, bro. I had to. I'm telling you, I had to forgive them. That was the only way I could move on. I had to forgive them people, boy. I had to let that hurt go. I had to let that hurt go, bro. It took me listen, boy, it took a lot of prayer. But I tell you, man, listen, God is good, man. God is good. I'm telling you. Cause and that's what it was too. And let me tell you, let's take people out of it, right? And I don't know where you guys' faith lie, but listen, it's my channel. If you don't like it, you can scroll. I'm not tripping, right? Hear me out. When I look at my situation and I see how so many people turned their backs on me, or just how things fell apart in my life, right? So many things were falling apart. I was losing so many things, right? And just everything that could go wrong was going wrong after my daughter passed, right? And as I now have a strong relationship with God, I think to myself, maybe this is what it took for me to really find my way back to God. Me realizing at the end of the day, all these things that I thought were upholding me were never holding me up. God was holding me up this entire time, but I couldn't see it. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't see it because I was out of touch, you know, because I was hurt. And this is what I'm talking about when I say I can see how people don't believe in God, how people are just like, oh, I'm an atheist, or they become demonic, whatever they get into with dark magic, whatever they try to get into, you know. I can see how people get there because, man, if you let that hurt consume you and you don't have strong faith in God, Listen, man. Listen. Listen, that thing will turn you cold. Stone cold, man. Motherfucker turn you cold, man. Stone cold. I'm telling you. Man, I listen, Psalms 91. I praise Psalms 91 every day. Listen. Listen. 10,000 may fall at your right hand, but none shall come near your tent. You hear me? Listen, man. The lion and the serpent. Listen, man. Look. Look. I tell you right now, a lot of people are hurting, man. A lot of people are hurting. And it's okay. You know, I don't even blame people, man. Amen. I don't blame people. People hurting, you know, and there's still good in everyone, you know, and and don't get into the semantics when I say everyone, because we understand there are evil people in this world, right? But I'm talking about people who lose their way, you know, and they become bitter. You know, I was talking to someone about this earlier, where there's people who have been through things so traumatic that they never got a chance to heal from, and that's very unfortunate. But they've allowed that experience to make them want bad for other people, because they become bitter at the world to people who've done nothing to them. Mind you, there may have been someone who did something to them, but then they become bitter at the world. You know, and I almost got there. I almost got to a point where I was bitter with the world, man. 100%. I almost got to a point where I was bitter with the world, bro. When I lost my daughter, I was mad at the world, man. I'm talking about, like, I was talking to a therapist, and at a certain point in my head, I was like, man, you ain't never experienced this. How you gonna tell me how to, you know what I'm saying? But I was, man, look, I was hurt, boy. I was hurt. And then when I think about the people who I expected to be there for me and they wasn't, hurt. Listen, man, hurt. But I had to let that shit go. That's why it took me so long to talk about it, because I had to let it go. For real, I'm telling you, man, when I tell you it got so dark, man, it got so dark. Listen, bruh. Listen, at the time, bruh, I was in a 1-bedroom apartment at the time, bruh. I don't live there no more, but at the time I was staying in a 1-bedroom, right? Bruh, when I tell you I was in that bed going crazy, like, no, I wasn't going crazy. I won't say that. I'll say I was really in my head. Like, when I tell you I was deep in my head, bruh, I was deep in my head, bruh. And I had quit vaping at the time. And I didn't understand. Appreciate the donation, Deadly St. Louis. Yo, throw this shit on the ceiling. I'll donate 50. Yeah, you're gonna get yourself blocked. That apartment turned into a dungeon, didn't it? Listen. I'm telling you, listen. Boy, you know how they say you can make a house a home? You can make that motherfucker hell too. Listen. Listen. Just like you can make a house a home, you can make that motherfucker hell too, boy. Listen. And it don't got nothing. You don't even have to be causing chaos in your home. You don't have to cause chaos in your home. But if you causing chaos in your home, you hear what I'm saying? Just because you're not causing chaos in your home, you still causing chaos in your home, bruh. Listen, man, and that shit, it emits this like aura and this like energy inside of your environment, bro. And you start like, and especially when you isolate, bruh. When you isolate yourself too, bruh, now your thoughts start to become your reality. When them thoughts start becoming your reality and you isolated and you not even connected with people who can give you glimpse of reality. And mind you, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex part of the brain is called the timekeeper part of it's called the timekeeper. It's the part of your brain that keeps up with time, right? Educate you a little bit. When you go through something very traumatic, that part of your brain shuts off. It becomes inactive. So you lose track of time. So that's why it feels like you're living the same day over and over, because in your brain, you really are. You're not remembering the traumatic situation. You're literally living it. Your brain is living it as it's happening in the current moment. Crazy. I learned this from from a doctor. I learned this from a doctor, right? And you guys can go look this up and check this. And I'm telling you, you can validate this, right? So I don't have a sense of time. I'm isolated. My thoughts are starting to become my reality, right? And my neighbor, bro, and this was God, bro. This is when I started becoming like when I started really getting myself realigned with God. And mind you, a lot of shit started happening in my life. God started like there's certain things that's just started happening in my life, right? And this is before I started, like, real shit. Before this moment, I was not talking about God, talking about anything of prayer, none of that, right? For years before this moment. So something told me quit vaping. Boom, I quit vaping, right? So as soon as I quit vaping, oh man, boy, I was going through it. I don't know. Vaping has such a heavy contributing to your mental health. I don't think people really understand, bruh. Like, I don't think motherfuckers understand that, right? So I quit vaping, right? I done put the damn vape down. My fucking mental, I'm going on my own little journey, right? My mind is going down memory lane of everything and how shit played out and what shit is and what it, everything is just being laid out. Like, my mind is kind of just like unpacking everything, because at this time I'm in therapy, right? So therapy has allowed me to unpack a lot of things that I wasn't able to in the first year of my grief, right? So now I'm like, damn, like, boy, it getting real dark in this motherfucker, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, see, the devil is really trying to attack you as you speak. He hates that God is getting the praise he deserves. It's sad people not listening to you and your testimony and rage baiting. Yeah, and I'm not paying that no attention because I'm telling y'all this true story. It's like I'm being truthful. I'm just telling y'all some real spill because I really feel like people can relate to this or it can help someone out. Because someone of me, who have like the platform and stuff, I went through something that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Because the reason why I talk about child loss too is because every year around 50,000 children pass away for whatever reason, right? Whatever reason it may be, 50,000 children every year. It takes two people to create a child naturally, right? We're not talking about all the other scientific ways, just naturally, right? Two people to create a child. We just, whatever. Two people have whatever, right? That's two parents per child. So 50,000 times two, that's around 100,000 new grieving parents every year. And you don't stop grieving after that year. So that's 100,000 added to the 100,000, added to the 100,000 every year. And mind you, there's really no support systems for that. If I went on Facebook when I was going through the early stages of child loss, and there's still to this day, there's only one Facebook group for child loss. And it's not even really being led, it's just kind of where people just post their sorrows and relate and connect, but you can find 300,000 different pages about fights, 300 pages about, like sports clubs. You can find many Facebook groups about drama and all this other stuff. But it's like the things that we really need support in, we don't care about. I wanted to die, but I did it. I wanted to off myself. I wanted God to take me out every day. Sorry you had to go through that alone. The loss of his baby girl. Listen, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to go through that as well. I'll tell you, like, and this is no pity party, right? I'm trying to really just give you guys insight to just a traumatic experience I went through. Had I ended up having a neighbor at the time, and this is like the key turning point in my life. I ended up having this neighbor, and cool as hell, man. Just random. We end up meeting, right? Just chopping it up. She's twice my age, older woman, right? Older white woman, twice my age, cool as shit, man. And somehow we end up becoming cool. And she's real big into God and religion and reading her Bible and all these different things, right? And you know, she's from a different era, you know, but she's like one of those cool ass like older women, you know, like she's like super cool, super like, and she's a veteran too. Yeah, she's a veteran too, right? And so she ends up bringing me closer to God. This woman that I did not know from nowhere. I had no idea who this woman was. All I knew was she had just became my neighbor at the time, and she was a veteran. And then come to find out, she was going through a similar experience. And so we ended up bonding off that similar experience, but it wasn't like a trauma bond. The relationship, like it was a friendship that we ended up building. It was encompassed under God. Every time me and her would talk, it was like this light that emanated from where we were sitting. Like she put out bird food for the birds and stuff like that. So it was like the birds would be around us. It was like so, like, I can't even explain it. When me and her would talk, it felt like it was like, I don't know. It was like I was being revived. And she said a statement to me one day, and she was like, "Be still and know that I'm God." Because I was really frustrated about some shit one day. I was like, man, I'm going off, you know, this and that. And I'm really, you know, it wasn't at her. It was just something going on in my life. Not at the current time, but I was in therapy, you know, in therapy, you start like, you know, unpacking certain stuff and you start remembering, oh, motherfucker, they got me fucked, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to think back to shit and I'm like, oh man, I put two and two together, yeah, I'm playing. You know, and she was like, you know, and I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do that. I was like, man, I need to go on tour. I need to do comedy shows. I need to do da-da-da and da-da-da. And she was like, Shane, be still and know that I'm God. She said, that's what the Bible says, Shane. You gotta listen to me. And when she said that to me, when she said, be still and know that I am God, when she said that line, in that very moment, I felt the presence of God. It was in that very moment. Mind you, I had known her at this time for like a month, but when she said that, in that moment, I literally felt the presence of God. It was like it was in the air. And right after that, I started doing the As Long As We Walking series. That's when I don't know if you guys saw when I was doing the walking series where I was talking about this whole experience of going through child loss. And I was doing As Long As We Walking. I don't know if you guys seen that. But that was when I started doing, and I'm gonna read you guys' comments. So don't think I'm gonna go back and read y'all comments. I just want to stay on track what I'm saying so I don't get off track so I can finish the story. So I started doing the As Long As We Walking series, and literally those walks it wasn't even my, first of all, I wasn't even recording the walks at first. I just started walking. Something told me, it was like, get up and walk. Like I would be in the crib, like, oh my God, like, stressed out, and something would say, get up and go walk. And I would just go walk. And I wasn't a person who took walks for like stress walks and stuff like that, right? I was never that type of person. But, and I, I used to talk to somebody who used to ask me to go on walks, and I low-key thought about it when I was doing these walks, like, dang, I know she'd probably be like, this mother, I told this mother, you know what I'm saying? But I was going on these walks, and my mental was clearing up in a way that I had never experienced before. When I tell you, I'm somebody who knows how to compartmentalize a lot of things, man, going on these walks, I found a level of clarity that I just could not explain, man. And I was like, I gotta share this with people, I was like, I gotta share people, like, what these things, these realizations, and these new ideologies and thought processes and stuff, that I'm starting to understand, and I was like, bet. So I started doing it as long as we walking, right? And I was like, I'm gonna just take people, on a just a journey with me, you know what I mean? Because like I would do my walk how I normally do, and then I would go find a spot and I would go post up and I would make videos or whatnot, which I stopped doing that because it got kind of dangerous. I had people start trying to figure out where I was living, and it got really weird, and I was like, fuck, just every time you try to do something good, you know what I'm saying, like every time you try to do something positive, there's always somebody just the devil working 24/7. So, and mind you, I'm not somebody who's claiming to be like very religious, and I know the Bible and I know all these different things. The only thing I know, that God is real. And I'll tell you that for a fact. That's the only thing I can tell you, is that God is real, and I believe, and prayer works. That's what I can tell you. I can't sit here and try to feed you what the Bible says. I have to reread it myself. Like I just know God is real. That's all I know. And anything outside of that, y'all can debate that, but I'll just let you know, God is real, prayer works. Keep God first, and you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong, man. You'll never go wrong. And when I tell you, because it's like, we have to understand that the spirit and the flesh are two different things, and they both desire two different things, and they're both influenced two different ways. That might be, hey, listen, that might be too much. That might be too much in the morning right there. That might be too much in the morning right there. That might be too much. Let me go back and read some comments. Hold up. Let me go back and read some comments, because I told you I was going to go back and read comments. Let's read comments real quick. Let's read some comments. Hold up. I want to read some of these. Let's see. Same here. It's a lot of stuff. Wheeler says a lot of stuff that happened to me that I've accepted, that I can't change it. I've moved on 100%. And I'm telling you, that's the turning point in your life right there. The super chat is an example of the devil real time. Nah, it is. It is. This is real stuff you are talking about. I'm glad you were able to bounce back and not let evil consume you. It is very tempting. Listen. You know why evil is tempting? Because it feels good. That's why. That's why. So then there's a legit reason for CPT then. What's CPT? That's what happened to my husband. The frontal cortex was damaged. His memory didn't return for 8 years. Ooh, sorry to hear that. See, the devil is really trying to attack you as you speak. He hates that God is getting the praise he deserves. It's sad that people not listening to you and your testimony and rage betting. They're listening. They're listening. Trust me. As long as their ears are open and they're listening, they may not accept it, but they're listening. And the seed has been planted. That's all it is. It's painful, though, for them, because it's like looking in the mirror that's talking back. I wanted to die. Oh, I read that one. Thank you for your service, brother. I appreciate that, man. This is Black History Month. Why is the Super Bowl in Spanish? Hey man, listen, man. You can't make every Super Bowl fucking, you know what I mean? Unless you're just a veteran comedian, then thank you for the laughs. LOL. Sorry, I know now isn't the time for that. No. I'm listen. I know I call myself the veteran comedian. I be changing personas every now and then. Hear me out. I'm Shane. You know, it's just that it depends on my mood, right? My content mood. You know, so I create characters for my content mood. Like I don't have different personalities. I have moods for content. You know what I'm saying? So like whenever I'm about to make content a specific way, that if I think I'm about to make content a specific way, I'll create a character behind it. You know what I mean? This is helpful. It took me 6 years to get over my grieving. I'll tell you right now, Connie, grieving is something you never get over. You just learn to live with it, because grief is love with nowhere to go. And the stronger the love you have for an individual, the harder the grief. And you don't stop loving that person. You just learn how to love them while they're you learn how to love them in this new state. You know? Would never stop loving these people. God sent you someone through her. You needed her and she needed you. 100%. 100%. I'm telling you. Always on time. And you needed that so bad. Oh, listen, I definitely did. I'm 34. It's really nice seeing a lot of younger folk on here praising God. Honestly, keep up the love, y'all. Appreciate that, Ryan. God knew what you needed to hear, and she quoted what God told her to say. Glad she was there for you. I am glad she was too. When I tell you I'm forever grateful. And listen, this woman, this isn't, bro. When I tell you, man, one day I'm gonna try to bring her on the stream. I'm gonna find out where she is and reach out to her and bring her on stream. When she tell y'all who she is, it's gonna blow your freaking mind. Listen, the fact that I even bumped into it's gonna be mind blowing. Y'all gonna be like, what? Especially for Marines. If you're a Marine, you are going to be baffled when this woman explains who she is. Like, she has a resume, okay? She's not just, you know, like, this woman turned out to be no crap. Like, she not only did she helped talk me through grief and connecting with God. She also educated me on life, politics, history. Boy, listen, man, history. This woman was schooling me, bro. When I tell you this woman was schooling me, what's going on, Sapphire? When I tell you this woman was, man, listen. She was schooling me on some history lessons, man. I'm forever grateful for that, bro. She was giving me some history that it was one of those you had to be there type ordeals. You know what I'm saying? Like she was giving me like shit she saw every day growing. Man, forever grateful. I used to cry all the time, then I began to cry less. And you know what's crazy? Crying is such an important part of grieving and healing. Very important. Even when you think down to the philosopher, what was his name? What was his name? Forgot his name, but they said his work was incomplete because he never cried. And so that didn't allow him to have enough insight on the things that he was speaking on because he was missing a perspective. Just me summing it up. Crying is very important. And I think crying is important to me because it reminds you that you're still here. It reminds you that you're still alive. It reminds you that you exist. You know? because you feel human, you know? Because sometimes we can feel out of body, disconnected, disassociated, you know? God is good. He looks out for his children. He sends us what we need. You always made me laugh, and that's what I needed. Hey, without a doubt, Connie, would you say you call me your cousin from South Carolina? Okay, well, nice meeting everyone. Nice meeting you too. And it washes the soul. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely does. Good morning to you too, Blake. Listen, when I tell you I prayed Psalms 91 every day. Um, and the one thing we have to understand, there's a lot of evil and wickedness out here. And when I tell you, like, people have turned to darkness, and some people they have committed to darkness, you know, and you have to be aware that there are things that people will try to do to you, especially especially when you have God's favor. And that's something I believe a lot of people truly need to understand when they have God's favor. And I don't even think it's God's favor, because I think that just makes it sounds like you're special, like you are special compared to everybody else, and that's never a thing. Because we're all made in God's image. You have an anointance on your life, right? That's what it is. It's an anointance on your life that people can see. And you have to be very, very mindful when you have an anointance on your life. And you have to take that very, very seriously, you know? Because when God has a plan for you, he got a plan for you. And either he gon' listen, whatever he needs you for, he gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you how he gets it, you know? And I'd rather serve God than anybody else, you know? And serving God has always, always provided me clarity, peace, sanctuary, and love. The love I feel from God, man. When I tell you I've never felt this kind of love, it genuinely made me cry one day, bro. Like, I genuinely cried one day because the love that I felt from God, as amazing as it felt, it was like, damn. It was the kind of love that I always wanted from my parents. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. That one was heavy, bro. It was heavy, dog. It was heavy. It was heavy, man. When I tell you that journey was heavy, bro. Cause when you pray for discernment, all will be revealed. You know, the Bible says, you know, like I said, I don't know the whole Bible, but I know quotes that I've applied to my life, and two quotes that I like is, God will make a footstool out of your enemies, and also he will prepare a table for you in front of your enemies. You know? And I spent my whole life trying to be accepted by people. So that's why I don't really blame people for taking advantage of me wanting to be accepted, because I can't control what people do. I can only control what I do, and I put myself out there and with that vulnerability. Um, because had I accepted me, I wouldn't have put myself in the positions to try to be accepted. And even with me getting famous, bro, like my whole goal of wanting to be famous was to be accepted somewhere, to find a community that accepted me for just me, like my authentic self. And that's why when I'm on the internet, I'm authentic because this is the only place I can be authentic, which is crazy. Most people are fake on the internet and they try to be the real selves in real life, but me, it's the complete opposite. Like, I'm more authentic on the internet than I am in real life. It's kind of crazy. Um, like I said, I just trying to be accepted. And it wasn't until I accepted God that I finally accepted me. And hear me out. I was trying to be famous to be accepted, but how I ended up blowing up wasn't even for me. I ended up blowing up because I was taking a stand for something that was bigger than me. And it wasn't until and this is how I know God has always been present in my life. It wasn't until I had put aside my ego to do something bigger than me that I got to this point. That's crazy, man. I mean, not crazy. It's just, man. Amen. Amen. That is deep. So he answered your prayer. He gives you his love, which is greater. 1000%. My two favorites told you my cousin because we think alike. Gotta be related in Jesus' name. Hey, hear me. Bet you can't read this out loud. I'm not reading that. You were in here for a while, man. You was doing good, and just like that. But, yeah, it was an interesting experience and journey. And I pray for people. Not only do I pray for myself, I pray for other people. Um, the world is in pain. And like I said, we have to be mindful of what we have going on and the people we interact with and the things we do. Because some people could be trying to, you know, like I said, when people have become committed to darkness, I don't look at them as, um, even though they are evil dwellers, I don't, I understand how they got there. And I think that's the part of me that gets me in a lot of trouble is being able to see, like, exactly where a motherfucker hurting at. And I wasn't able to see that, for a long, like, it wasn't until, like, I truly started facing the things I was going through in life and started really, like, getting deep into therapy. And I finally started to heal. And I wouldn't say heal because that's just such a thrown out term. When I started to close those doors and empty out those file cabinets from time frames in my life, that clarity allowed me, to see it many different things when it came to my own perspective of my reality of life. When it came to just interacting with other people now, I look at them and I'm just like, you're hurting, you know? And I genuinely think it's not even just me seeing it. I think it's me attracting it because they can feel that comfort in me. You know what I'm saying? It's like they feel that comfort in me. And it's like, so I end up attracting, I'm starting to realize I end up attracting people who are looking for sanctuary in me. You know? So then I have to be very mindful about the interactions I have, because not everybody has good intentions. Some people want to control, like, some people feel entitled to you as a person. And that has always been freaky to me. That a motherfucker can feel entitled to you and your time. And it's because when an individual fails to emulate their own energy and self-resilience, they can get to a point where they give up and they stop trying. And now they just want to take. They want to take and destroy. That's it. They just want to take and destroy. They've given up. And like I told you, it was real easy for me to feel that way when I was going through child loss. Easy for me to feel that way. Real easy. But no, I didn't. I didn't at all. I didn't at all. Because I grew up in South Carolina, right? 843 in the building, you hear me? I grew up in South Carolina, and that environment was not, growing up where I did in South Carolina, that is not an environment to raise kids, to have a prosperous future. It's not at all, not even a little bit, man. Like, when I tell you, like, when it comes to being in South Carolina, I vowed to myself I would never move back to South Carolina. And that was a trauma response. It's just that, like, I get this, like, my spirit gets uneasy when I cross into South Carolina. It's just, no matter if it's by plane, by car, you know, if I'm coming from, you know, the southern part, you know, upper country, no matter which way, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Got to learn how to get it. Oh, hold on. Exactly. Got to learn how to get in and out quickly. They will drag you down and they want you to go down with them. No way for me. I've even have to let them go. 100%. Blood live at 4. Long as we tracking. Hey, long as we tracking, man. Nephew moved there with his mama. Please pray for him. Yeah, I'll definitely send a prayer out for him, man. But can you sea walk? I don't gangbang, man. I don't do that. Yeah, I definitely pray for him. South Carolina is a very interesting place, man, because majority of people, it's not that South Carolina people are bad people. There's just, since when what? You gotta be more detailed than that. The people in South Carolina are not bad people. It's just that a lot of people are in survival mode. And that's what makes things tricky. You see what I'm saying? Like, for me, growing up where I did in South Carolina, I'm telling you, man, the fact that I made it this far in life is a testimony in itself. Like, if I showed y'all the projects I lived in as a kid, oh my goodness, bro. Y'all want to see the projects I lived in as a kid? Y'all want me to show y'all, like, what it looked like, seriously, where I grew up at? Like, I spent, it was half and half. Like, I spent half of my childhood in this location and then half with my great-grandmother type shit. Y'all want to see that shit? Y'all want to see it? Bet. And your son moved with his mama? Mm, yeah. And you had to do a South Carolina woman, boy. Listen, and I don't know, man. I haven't I haven't talked to a woman from South Carolina who was from South Carolina in a long time. I think the last person I talked to from South Carolina that was actually from South Carolina had to be when I was in junior in high school, man. Yeah. Stayed up out of that way for a while. If it makes you unhappy, no. Got it. See, Connie, appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate your nature. You ain't been gang banging? My uncle gang banged. I had an uncle that gang banged. Got to see a lot of interesting things up close and personal. You know what's crazy? I've had some experience, like, I've had some night outs with my uncle because we were 3 years apart, so we were like brothers growing up. Like, my mom has no clue, like, some of the fucking night rides this man took me on. When I tell you, bro, I was a little jit, bruh. Just being places I had no business, bruh. Just following my uncle, dog. Cause like I loved him to death, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, wherever he went, I wanted to go. So I was like, you know, he was, no matter if it was someplace dangerous, you know, I was just like, it don't matter, cause I looked at him as the toughest guy in the world. In my mind, he was the most dangerous person I knew. So I wasn't afraid to go anywhere with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much I looked up to him. I literally, because he protected me all the time. All the time. Like, I would get into, man, listen, I would get into fights in the projects at the park. Bro, I'm out there fighting, right? Whole time, the kids trying to jump me. But I done, like, piece up, like, 2 of them. But I was always athletic as a kid. I got them moving. So all you see is me coming from the back of the park, the projects, running, right? And next thing you know, you see a whole bunch of kids running behind me. And mind you, usually they older than me, because like kids were bullies. So they was always trying to fuck with younger kids. And I was always like, my grandma, before she passed, you know, my grandma was very hood. Like, she was very, like, I can't, bro, I'm telling you, bro. When I tell you my grandma was about that life, listen, bro, she put fear in people, bro. Like, she put fear in my whole family, bro. Like, my whole family wasn't like this, right? My uncle and his mom, they were cutthroat. Like, my whole family wasn't like this, bro. These two, but like, my whole family was like on timing, but like these two specifically, like mama and son, they were locked into the bullshit. Like, they was on bullshit all the time. It wasn't a time they wasn't on bullshit. Like, you wasn't about to get nothing, no cordial conversation out of these people. I mean, I used to get cordial conversations out of my uncle, you know, and my mom did too, but that was, you know, that was us, you know, but interesting times. But he used to protect me, man. He used to really, he used to get out there and, you know, scare off people who was trying to bully me for no reason. He had my back, man. He was my protector, seriously. No disrespect, you kind of have the personality of Ray from Tiana and the Frog and Lewis combined. I have no idea what that is. Hey, good morning, good morning. It would be a good idea. They are in every family. I love my crazy uncles. Facts. Okay, I'm back. Had to make my rounds. And 100%. Freaking, no, my uncle was on timing, bro. Like, I remember one time my uncle, let me tell you, bro. My uncle had, he was sick of people's shit at this point. We was in high school, right? I was in 8th grade. He was in high school. I was in 8th grade. And I was so excited that I was going to be in high school with my uncle. Like, we was going to be in the same building together for the first time since elementary school. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, me and my uncle about to be back together since elementary. Because, like, after elementary, you know, he went to middle school. Then by the time I got to middle school, he was in high school, right? So I'm in 8th grade. He's in, I think, 11th grade, 10th grade, or something like that. I think, yeah, he's in 10th grade. Get ready to go to 11th grade. Tell me why this man gets into it with the principal, bro, in the middle of the hallway. Like, I'm watching all of this go down. And which is kind of crazy that I was present for this. This is how connected me and him was. I always found myself where he was whenever shit was going down. I always had his back too. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care what it was. You know, that's just how we rock. You know, the principal had said something slick to him, right? Because we had this new principal at the time, and he was trying to be Mr. Tough Guy, trying to make a statement. So he wanted to come, like, you know, check the dude at school that was considered the toughest dude, right? And my uncle, I don't think was considered the toughest dude. He was considered the most dangerous and unpredictable dude, you know? Um, so it wasn't about being tough. He was just dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like it was very, you know. But he was very loving though. He was very loving, had a big heart, you know, he was a very great person. um the principal said something crazy to him. I forgot what he said. And then my uncle pulled out a pair of brass knuckles out of his pocket and put them on his hand. And then he told the principal he was gonna knock his ass out. And I was like, oh, he definitely getting expelled. And he got expelled from school, and that was it. He got expelled from school, and that was the last time he was in school, bro. That was his last day in school, bro. Like, I don't even think some of my family even know that story in detail, bro. Oh yeah, he was on that. He was on that. He didn't, cause see, my family don't tolerate disrespect, bro. We are big on respect, man. When you disrespect somebody in my family, bro, that's a contract, bro. like, that's a contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, you signing a contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will fuck around and make it our life's purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about could have a whole 6-figure career going. And would not even throw that away, walk away from that. You see what I'm saying? To pursue results. You know? And that's why my people, they stay to themselves, literally. And the city where I'm from, that's not just my family. That's the whole city where I'm from, bro. That they don't play disrespect, man. And this is not me trying to make myself out to be so gangster or hood or anything like that. It's the real. Like, I'm just trying to explain the environment of where I'm from, bro. Like, I know y'all see me being on here being all goofy and bubbly and laughing and being so funny type shit, right? And, you know, I'm talking about God and all type of stuff. Listen, the city I'm from, there's less than 400 people there. So everybody know everybody, bro. So the moment you go down there, they know you not from there, bro. The moment your car drives into that town, bro, everybody done communicated across the whole city that you are there. Like, I'm, right? Listen, they just started installing Wi-Fi down there a year ago. The technology ain't no way near where technology is today. Over there. Right? It's spooky down there, man. Oh, 100%. But there's, I wouldn't even say there's another side to me. It's just a certain, like, it's a certain survival mindset that you develop in small towns like that allow you to tap into a part of you that just can't be explained. You know what I'm saying? Um, the town I'm from is called Hemingway. 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 No. If you look Hemingway up, Hemingway, South Carolina, if you look it up, because I know y'all probably think I'm tweaking when I'm talking about this shit. When you look up Hemingway, South Carolina, make sure when you search it, search what is the population. Just so you can get straight into it. What's the population size? I'm telling you, gonna fuck you up. Yeah. Quick to pop off? Nah, I'm not quick to pop off. And that's the thing about me. I'm not quick to pop off, man. I am very reserved, you know? And I had to learn that patience because I had to learn to have patience because I had a lot of people starting problems with me all the time, trying to get reactions out of me. And I think people understood, like my mom didn't play that whole fighting shit at school. And they knew I was terrified of my mom, right? And this is why I say, like, certain moms could put their sons in danger, right? And my mom think that she was doing something to protect me, but what she was doing was put me in harm's way. Because her mindset was, I don't want you going to school fighting, getting suspended. You should be at school getting your schoolwork. Well, that's cool and all. But see, I can go to school for that. That don't mean that that's what the other kids are going to school for. And if they are coming to school to whoop my ass and you are telling me that I can't fight, that doesn't stop them from wanting to come to school to whoop my ass. You know what I'm saying? So I was getting my ass whooped. Like it was literally a period of time where I was getting my ass whooped at school because I just literally was afraid of my mom fucking me up. Like literally, like I like not even like getting my ass whooped, but it was just like I wouldn't get into like fights per se, but it would always be like confrontation and people knew it, you know? They were like, oh, I can pump. Like when people wanted to like feel good about themselves or like start some shit to make themselves seem cool or try to one up me because I was doing something in my own personal life that they was envious of, they will always try to pull up on me at school and try to start something with me at school so that way like they knew I wasn't going to react to it because, you know what I'm saying? And had my mom not did that, I wouldn't have had to go through the things that I did. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have, you know? So like as parents, we have to be mindful, very mindful of certain things, man. Because you can set your kids up for failure, you know? Dude, I can relate. I knew if I got in trouble at school, my life was hell when I got home. Facts, bro. And life was already stressful at home, bro. Like, I'm already living in the projects, bro. I already got to fight when I go home. Like, think about that. So, hear me out. I was going to school at one school, but I lived in another city at the time. So I was going to school, getting jumped, all kind of shit. Then I would come home to another city in the same county, and I would be fighting in the fucking projects. Like it was just like non-stop chaos, bruh. It was like non-stop, bruh. Like, it was like non-stop, bro. I was just like, bruh. Like, between all of that, like, when I finally started, like, living with my great-grandmother, like, when I was, like, because she raised me for majority of my childhood, man, when I was able to live with her, like, man, life was so much better when I was in the countryside, bro. being able to play outside in the woods and like, uh, crawfish, catching crawfish out the ditch and the ponds and the hunted trail, going down trails and stuff with four-wheelers and, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were still poor, but living in the country, man, I made fun out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made fun out of nothing, bro. Like, that part of my life right there was so enjoyable, bro. That life was so enjoyable. Like, just, I got two whoopings so bad that I couldn't go back to school the next day. You hear what I'm saying, bro? You hear what I'm saying? Like, people at school used to talk that rah-rah. I'm like, bruh, I'm more terrified of my moms than I am of you, bro. Not gonna cap. Like, what you talking about ain't really hitting on nothing, bro. Like, if my mom genuinely wasn't on that type of time, bro, I would, yes, 100%. 100%. Because if you would see what I was doing in the projects where it was allowed, because hear me out. Here's what blew my mind, right? And a lot of people in my city don't understand this, right? I used to fist fight, right? Back and forth, right? I didn't win every fight, I'm not saying that. But I used to fist fight with dudes in the projects that later, when we grew up to become teenagers, the same dudes who were bullying me growing up in my school were terrified of the dudes that I was squabbling with my whole childhood in the projects. But see, they didn't know that I knew these people when I was younger. And so these people came, we had a basketball game where the schools played each other. And so both, little cities are meeting up in the lobby area and it's like tension, right? And here I come, the motherfucker, they thought that ain't had no pull or anything like that. Like, they considered me to be like lame, right? Because hating like a motherfucker. I walk up to all of these dudes and dap them up and we chopping it up like everything gravy. Mind you, I mend the whole beef right there. Because I knew these dudes, the tension in the room dropped. When the dudes saw me, they said, oh shit, Shane, what's up? Dap me up. It's love. It was all love because we was, as kids, man, we was fighting and tussling and his brother slammed me on my head one time. I punched him like, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, life crazy. Life crazy, bro. Man, and the only reason why I was fighting in the projects, because my grandma, I told you, remember, my grandma was about that life. My grandma used to make me go fight. So my mama used to still tell me not to fight even when I was home. But my grandma used to be like, get out there and fight. Don't let them die. You go out there and you fight. Now I'm out that bitch squabbling. Squabbling like a motherfucker, boy. And then the whole time I'm coming down the stairs, bro, they waiting at me at the bottom, bro. I'm like, bro, I ain't even get a chance to get a breath in. As soon as I come down the steps, we all going at it. I'm talking about, man, I ain't even make it out the goddamn little hallway, man. We going, boy. I'm telling you, bro. You had to be ready to go at all times, bro. When you stepped outside that house and you came down the stairs, bro, you had to know somebody could be waiting around the corner. Like, literally. I know this shit sound traumatizing as hell, but listen, bro, there could be somebody waiting around the corner. As soon as you walk outside, boom, and punch you in the back of the head, bro. You like, oh my goodness. Now you squabbling. You got, you squabbling, bro. Like, you hear me, bro? Listen, bro. It was that bad, bro. It was that bad. Like, you literally was fighting just to fight, bro. I promise you, it was no beefs. It was just fighting just to fight, bro. PTSD for the military. Yes, bro. 100%, bro. 100%. I wouldn't say that, but it's like that now. The people who bullied me when I was a kid are afraid of me and people I associate with. That's crazy. Yeah, nah, like at the time as a kid, that stuff wasn't traumatizing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I didn't know what trauma was. I didn't know what any of those things meant. So my brain didn't process any of those situations as such. You see what I'm saying? So like I wasn't feeling depressed about any of that stuff because I was just living through it. Like I was just living through it. Like it wasn't like I never really had time to take a break until I started living with my great grandmother. And at that time, I was hanging out in the woods and, like I said, playing outside, and I was with my cousins. So like, I never really processed it. Like I just was like, oh, okay, like shit, moving on to the next chapter type shit. Then what happened after that? Yeah, no, that's when my uncle started whooping my ass after that. Me and him started fighting because me and him both ended up living at my, because he used to live with me and my mom. So me and him both ended up going to my great grandmother's house and growing up there. And so I guess that took him out of the streets, and he still had that street mentality. So like he had all this rage and aggression, and he didn't know where to put it at, you know? So me and him started squabbling every day, bro. It was so annoying, bro. It was so annoying, bro. When I tell you, like, it taught me how to fight. But man, fighting your uncle who's 3 years older than you, who does nothing but lift rusty weights every day. What were we fighting about? Bruh, one time I want... Yo, one time I wanted to play the PlayStation, right? He had a PlayStation 2. I wanted to play the game, right? Connie, hold on. Let me tell you this story before you go to bed, Connie. I wanted to play San Andreas, right? He had a PlayStation 2. Yeah, he was young. So listen, he had a PlayStation 2. He had San Andreas, and I wanted to play the game. And he didn't want to let me play the game. So I went and told my mama, right? And my mama told him to let me play the game. So he got mad, and he was like, all right, whatever, and he took the memory card out. If you might be too young, I don't know how old y'all are, but if you remember, we used to have a memory card that we could put inside the game, right? And you could save the game's progress on it. So he took the memory card out, meaning I had to play the game from the very beginning. And that just made, because mind you, he had already had all the guns unlocked, all like the stores, the haircuts, all that stuff. And I wanted to play that stuff. I didn't want to do the whole legwork because I only had like 2 hours to play the game, and I had to go to school the next fucking day. So I got mad as hell. So I took the controller and I fucking cracked it upside his head. Like as he was going out the door, like the room, I took the controller, like I ain't threw it. Like I'm talking about palm in hand. I was upside his head. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Listen, when I tell you, I think I went unconscious at one point. I had to. Either a mild concussion, one of the two. I don't know what happened after that. I just know I was in pain. You know what I'm saying? I was hurt. I was hurt. I don't know. I don't know what he did to me. I just know I was in pain. I don't know what he did to me, but I know he hit me. He had to hit me a few times. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. All right, good night, Connie. Yeah, I was mad, bro. I was so mad, bro. I hit him with the controller, and he whooped my ass. Yes, sir. That boy, listen. You know how in the cartoons when they see stars? Listen. Gave him the Ike Turner special. And you know what's crazy? Right when he was whooping my ass, right? My mom came in the room. And my mom like football tackled him, right? Because they're brothers and sisters, right? So my mom football tackled him and was like, bah, 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 fighting him and shit. So my mom jumped in there to protect me, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. I know, dysfunctional as fuck. I know this shit sounds crazy as hell, bro. It's like, so you, your mama, and your uncle was in a full out squabble inside of a like 200 square feet room. You know what I'm saying? Like in that bitch throwing down. You know what I'm talking about? Like throwing down, bro. Oh man, funny stories, man. Funny times, funny times. Yeah. Listen, that's why they say don't never judge a book by its cover. And when I say that, I mean that there's more layers to me than just, hey, I was in the military. Nah, I grew up in South Carolina. I grew up in a very, predominantly black family. And, I grew up in, the projects. I had time in the country. And everything wasn't all bad now. Everything wasn't all crazy. There was good times too. Because I had a lot of time to myself. Because I stayed to myself mostly growing up. Outside of playing with my cousins, I used to really stay to myself. I had this one cousin who lived down the street from me who we hung out damn near every day. Like, and me and him used to fight too. But outside of him, me and him fighting, me and him had a strong ass relationship. We played basketball every day. Like we played like one-on-one tournaments. Real spill, like we would do one-on-one tournaments. Like we would do like a 7-game series, one-on-one basketball in his backyard, and we would be hooping. I'm talking about, listen, I'm talking about, all you had was we getting busy. And we both was around the same height. We were tall, so it was like, listen, bro, like defense was like we both got long arms, so like defense was crazy. Like, and that's how we used to end up fighting sometimes, because like the games used to get so heated, so much damn testosterone in one area, you know what I mean? And when I tell you, man, I love that dude, man. Like my cousin, bro, like he is no shit like the greatest friend I've ever had. Like, I don't even look at him as my cousin. I look at him as the greatest friend I ever had. Like, the greatest friend. Like, literally. Like, he is no shit like the greatest friend. Like, I can have the best time in the world, bro, with him, bro. Like me and him played Resident Evil 5 together. When we were kids, we played Resident Evil 5. Because, mind you, like I said, I was too poor to have a game system. So I used to go to his house, play the game too. Whenever me and him would link up. And he had got Resident Evil 5, and it was like a co-op game. And he was like, he wanted me to play it with him. So I was like, bet. He gave me an opportunity to play the game and shit. So every day after school, bruh, I literally started getting off the school bus at his crib, bro, to play the game together. And then his grandma was like, she had shut it down a little bit because, we was skipping out of schoolwork and playing the game. So I used to have to wait a little bit. Then I would walk from my grandma's house to his house type shit. And, bruh, man, we just had a great time, dude. Like, I tell you, I had some great times, man. Like, the basketball era of my childhood was so fun, bruh. Like, the whole, like, my city was so athletic, bro. Everybody was athletic. Like, it don't matter if you wasn't good, you were still athletic. Like, you probably couldn't shoot, dribble, but you could play defense like a motherfucker. Like, there was a dude that he was like 5'3", 5'4". That boy couldn't dribble a basketball to save his life. I'm talking about that boy's shot was so strong that she used to smack the backboard, right? But defense, you wasn't getting past him, bro. I remember one time he was playing defense on me, and this man kneed me in the side of my knee, bruh. Listen, I was young then, so like I just bounced back up off the ground, you know what I'm saying? But man, When he had did that shit, it had made me so mad, bruh. Cause I felt like he had did it on purpose. Cause like, mind you, it didn't like, it was just sore, and the next day I was fine. But his defense was too crazy and all over the place, bro. I couldn't rock with it. Like, I just couldn't rock with it. I was not able to, like, whenever he would come up to me, I would just shoot a three, bro. I was not about to put myself in a position where he could actually hurt me. Because I was trying out for the team that year. So I was like, bro, I can't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up making varsity that year, because I protected my body. I was like, nah, I gotta make varsity, bro. I'm not about to be out here with y'all playing these games, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you tried to hurt me. You know what I'm saying? He could have. I'm so glad he didn't. Because imagine how much of my life he would have thrown off had he hurt me that day. Man. Whew. Man. I would have never ran my 300 CFT. I would have never ran my 300 CFT, man. That boy would have hurt me. I probably wouldn't even have made it in. I wouldn't even have, man, trying to recover from an injury that young. Cause I remember I used to talk, I knew this girl who went into Marine Corps boot camp after I graduated. She went, cause she wanted to join. After she saw me do it, she was like, oh, I can do it too, right? She had a knee injury before she went in. I wish the Marine Corps knew about it. And it just got worse when she was in boot camp because she was straining it so much. And yeah, she ended up getting dropped, and that was it. I was like, damn. What was your fastest 3 mile time? Mine was 21:06. What was my fastest 3 mile time? Damn. What was my fastest 3 mile time? 2030? I think it was 2030. 2030 is the fastest time I ran. I think that was when I was in Japan. I ran 2030. Yeah. Yeah, you a big guy running 21 minutes. That's good as fuck. Yeah, I ran 2030. I think that was my fastest one. That was in Iwakuni, Japan. Yeah, 2030. I remember that one because there was this dude in my shop. They had considered him to be a turd, right? Bruh, tell me why. I had just got there to the fleet. And they was like, this dude is one of the worst Marines, yada, yada, yada. He don't this, he don't that, okay, whatever. Tell me why this dude literally ran the same speed as me, bro. Like, his body was like he was like kind of like, he had like a dad bod kind of shit. Like, he did not look like he was in shape at all, bro. This dude ran the same time as me, bro. When I tell you that really had like changed my perspective on my fitness. And like I said, I think I know for a fact I ran faster than that. I just can't remember. And I can only quote what I remembered at the time. My memory sucks. My memory sucks sometimes. But yeah, we weren't that far off when I was in Japan. Yeah, we wasn't that far off. Yeah, 2030 is not that far. We were like what, 30 seconds apart? We would have been running in the same group. Would have been in the same group. You probably would have ran the same time as me if we was running together. Cause you probably would have just like hopped up there and got beside me and just finished out. Literally. Like, cause anybody who was running around me, they usually finished at the same time as me, cause we were all kind of just like grouped together on that sprint. But yeah, when Buddy had ran the same speed, I was impressed. You know what I'm saying? I was genuinely impressed by him running running the same speed as me, and he was a big guy too. I was like, okay, I respect that. Like that, I had to put some respect in that. And after that, that's when I ran a 300 CFT. Yeah, yeah. Right after that, I ran a 300 CFT. Why you said turn off the light? You hungry? Does green make you hungry or some shit? Is that some psychology I don't know about? Let me see. Let me look this up. What the hell? What you talking about, nephew? Let me see. Does the color green make make you hungry? Let's see. Hmm. No. No. But yeah, 36-second difference. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I wonder what does green light help with? Let's see. Let's see. It says so green lights, especially from therapy, include skin rejuvenation. Okay, that's why your boy's starting to look sexy. Reducing redness, hyperpigmentation, fine lines by boosting collagen. Ooh, and pain and migraine relief. Ooh. Ooh. As it calms inflammation, it can improve mood and sleep by promoting relaxation and balance serotonin levels, making it a versatile tool for skin health, mental well being, and pain management. Yo, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's so crazy. He said, "Don't worry about who I am." What's your favorite? I don't know what that is. What Will said, "Don't worry about who I am." You know what's very interesting about being a public figure, right? About being on the internet, right? I got to a point where something hit me, right? It was like one day I woke up and it's just like I came to this realization, bro. And it was just like once you become a public figure, there's no going back to like the normal life. It's really not. It's an old rock band. Mm. But yeah, it's no go back to that own life of just living a normal life, I should say. Not old life, but normal life. Very possible. You see people like J. Cole try to do it. And I watched J. Cole attempt to do it so much, and it just hit me, and I'm just like, yeah, like, shit ain't possible. It was art. Hmm. Well, what I am going to do is get off of here for tonight or this morning, and I need to get me something to eat. I cook. I made some fish, and then I chopped up some red potatoes and some gold potatoes, and I fried them in some avocado oil. And then I cooked some cheese, broccoli. Oof. I baked the fish too. I baked it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Flaming lips. Don't know what you're talking about. No idea. But this food is calling my name. I'm gonna go eat, and I'm gonna go to bed after I eat for a fact. But I love you guys. You know the vibes, man. As long as we track it.